Hi there, good morning. It's Oyen. I'm just going to create a really short video on hopefully 5 to 7 minutes on how we use the workbooks. So what I'm going to very quickly do is just write out, not in detail, either the skills and behaviors we're trying to map, we're trying to cover. So very quickly, here they are. So we have building relationships. Business insight, communication, leadership. So what you also see when you come to have a look at a workbook is that I actually mix the skills and behaviors because there isn't any real need to have every single one on its own. So I put leadership and adding value together. And then I also have I've mixed problem solving, decision making, and ethics also together. Then flexibility is on its own, continuous improvement is on its own, and professional skepticism is on its own as well. And so what we're trying to do is to map these skills and these behaviors. So what I have also done is created workbooks, if you like, at 3 levels. Level 1, 2, well, only really at 2 levels. There's 3 levels technically, but level 1, 2, we have level 1, 2, and 3. So level 1 kind of certificate, level 2 diploma, and level 3, if you like, the strategic. You can see it's quite tricky having a workbook for the strategic just because, and we can discuss really there, it's really just then having a project to run with and then still being able to identify what the skills and behaviors are. But at least here we have workbooks for them. And so we have workbooks in 3 subjects: financial accounting, audit and assurance. We have 3 workbooks as well. We have financial reporting, financial management, and I think the last one is strategic business, something along those lines. So that's kind of the idea. Right, let's go to the workbook, or a workbook. And I'm going to pick management accounting, for example. Now, if you look at this workbook, what we have is, sorry, just let that settle. Right. So what you see is that at the bottom of a workbook are the tabs, and the tabs. Right, let's do this properly. Here we are. Here are the tabs. So we can see that the tabs, if you like, you can see there's an index page to start off. The tabs, and so this gives it the chance for the student to kind of title the project or title a project, so whatever it is they're working on. It might be a cost center, it might be a client, or as you can imagine, the key point is it starts to give it this kind of structure. It also gives the student the opportunity to kind of put a number of days that they'll spend on this project, if you like, or on this particular client they're working on, and they can map this very clearly to what they do day to day at work, if you like. It might even be just to do with their work list or their work schedule. So all of this can sort of almost be arranged beforehand whilst they're planning their year, if you like, or their workflow. And in here you will also have the list of evidences that will attach, if you like, to this. Just the list. So what I put here, potential pieces of evidence. So typically with management accounting, we're talking about cost centers, budgeting, and just how we're going to track just ideas really and we can add to this ideas that we can use to garner or collect this evidence. So you can see at the bottom here we have the different skills and behaviors, building relationships. So for example, building relationships, you can see that we have a range of questions that will help stimulate how you gather this information, if you like. So discuss a scenario where you were part of a budget building process. What was your role? How did you obtain the data that you need? How easy was it to get the information? Discuss a scenario where information has been obtained from a different department. Was it difficult? How did you build a relationship to ensure you achieved the goal? So we're just trying to get this information, if you like, from the student, and when we have questions, if you like, right across these different skills. So you can see here they are: building relationships, business insight, communication, leadership and adding value. And please, I mean, you probably have these now, so you can look at the questions, and you can, of course, we can add to them and we can adapt them a little. And that's kind of where we're going with this: flexibility and continuous improvement. So we have a range of questions. The idea is the student is given this workbook, or they pick up this workbook. so that it matches what they're doing at work, or it's close enough to what they're doing at work, and they're able to fill it along as they're going. And they can also clearly, if you like, going back to the index page, see, if you like, what was happening with, as I showed you, with the number of days and the list of the pieces of evidence. Right, and this is just another one I'll just show you very quickly as well. This is the financial accounting, financial management. This is at the diploma level. All right, let this just settle. Forgive me. And what we have here again is this the same thing. You have the skills, and oops, okay, that won't settle. No problem. Just because of time, I won't. So you can see here that you have the skills. Okay. Yes, I said 7 minutes. Don't worry, I won't go past that. So, okay, great. So here we have, again, looking at professional skepticism. I've asked for, can you give examples? Let me just go to the top. Give examples of how you exercise professional skepticism at the planning of a project you were managing or analyzing. Give examples of professional, when you're considering the credibility of stakeholders involved. So this is at the higher level of at the diploma stage. Okay, so that's kind of where we're going. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the levels. This is the bit that maybe has been causing some slight, and understandably, some, I would say, confusion, just to get the context right. This is all about context. So when you sit with a student, we have 3 levels. So I say level 1, level 2, and level 3. So we're not looking, the exams help us determine whether or not the students are passing these subjects, but the context of asking a question we expect to be for at least at level 1. If the student is picking up a workbook on financial accounting, it's in the context of the preparation of financial statements or double entry or bank reconciliation. So if the student picks up a financial accounting workbook, if you like, in the context of financial accounting, we're expecting that our answers or our skills and behaviors will be based on the whole analytical process of, if you like, a set of financial statements or something along those lines. But the key point is you can see the growth of knowledge, analysis, and more evaluation, and even looking at the bigger picture. So that's what this spreadsheet is to help you, to kind of guide you, to sort of know at what level am I speaking to this student? What is the context of our conversation? Right? So this is knowledge, and then you also have skills and behavior, and the same thing here. You have all the different skills. So that workbook that you've just seen, the student, you could be asking the student questions, but you're asking students questions in this context. This is the level you're looking for, this type of evidence, if you like, at this higher level based on where they are in their program. So you have months 1 to 6, months 7 to 8, 12, 13 to, and blah, blah, blah. We can carry on. So these guidance pages you have here are just context pages to help you set the context and just kind of just familiarize yourself, and you can refer to them, but you can already kind of see what's going on. And then the workbook is what the student actually fills out. And then comes back and sits with you. This fundamentally is really for you, not for the student. But you can. Why not? You may share this with the student. You will see that many employers, I've actually picked this up I've been working with a couple of employers, and you will see that they actually use this one, the skills and behaviors, for their own performance evaluation. So if a student has already fulfilled a lot of skills via their performance evaluation at work during their normal performance appraisals, yes, why not? That can be mapped to this workbook. But again, the context, this is just to give you context so that you're able to look for that information within the context of these ideas based on the subject in which you're in. And that's it. So I think what will happen is that we will continue to grow this and see how we can kind of allow the student take charge of the workbook and pick a workbook to map where they are in their journey at work, as opposed to kind of backdating and trying to fill in this thing. No, they should be doing it as they're going along, and they can map it to their workflow that they actually are, sort of to map it to where they are at work as they're going along. Great. I broke the rule. I said 7 to 8 minutes. Forgive me. This is just hitting 10. It's under 10 anyway. Okay, great stuff. And hopefully we'll see you at a webinar soon and at a meeting, and we'll be able to break this up a little and come up with pieces of evidence, who knows, and create a worksheet for that as we go along. Okay, great stuff. Thank you. Oyen.